Yesterday, I saw a tweet of a friend of mine, not a friend, but I follow them on Twitter. His name is Tim Kipchumba. And Tim Kipchumba is vied for the senatorial seat in Marakwet, where when Kipchumba Murkomen was elected was appointed to the cabinet. And Tim Kipchumba wrote something very interesting. He said that by 2027, the dollar, he was projecting that the dollar to the Kenya shillings, we might have like the Kenya shillings good about 260 plus. And so right now it's about 163 Kenya shillings now as it's moving forward.
Assuming that nothing goes wrong.
Assuming nothing goes wrong, you know. And so when that happened, I was actually in the house. Yesterday I was just chilling in the house. And what I felt was like, I'd been stabbed into the heart. Why I felt like that is because I started thinking about the impact of that thing and what it means to my family, what it means to my community, what it means to my country, you know. Chito, Kenya is a net importer of goods, whether it's good, whatever. We import everything, including spoons, made in China, because we don't
fish.
Even our fish.
Fish is coming from China.
Our food, including garlic. When you find these fake garlics, they're coming from China. And by that I mean, like, we have traditional garlic, then we have this other garlic that have been mass produced in China, and when we're exporting. Even our music, we import music from Nigeria and from Tanzania. We export music. We import music. And so, Chito, when we talk about leadership, the conversation I was having, so I called a pal of mine, and we were having a discussion around what that means for the country. And now that we're talking about men, a majority of people who are making these decisions, whether it is the IMF structural adjustment program that we're following right now, so that we can contain the economy, whether it is increasing taxes, whether it is the sort of work that we're letting the Kenya shillings that they claim was overvalued to just completely fall. We are looking at all these poor, and the poor who are making these decisions are men. And I think that we often don't understand the impact of a man who's in authority and the sort of impact they can do, both bad and good. I'm not a prophet, Chito, but I can tell you for free that if we continue on the trajectory that we are continuing, even though we're going to be saving an economy that we think is collapsing, we're going to be losing in so many other areas. Let me give you an example. KRA are saying that they might miss their tax projections by over 300 billion shillings because Kenyans are cutting down their spending on essential things. So people who used to drink a lot of booze, and you know there's a lot of taxing on booze, that is going down. People are not doing as much shopping as they can. Where do you get taxes in this country? You get taxes when people have a spending power. And when you take people's spending power by overtaxing them, what you're doing is you are taking from one hand, you're taking from this pocket, a fool, and putting in this pocket, then taking from this pocket and putting here and think that you're changing the country. But what I felt yesterday, I took my jacket and I left the house and started walking. And I was walking, and I was thinking. And I said, man, do these people understand the sort of pain that they're causing Kenyans? Because if the dollar is running 260 shillings to the dollar, we are looking at people who are importing, people who are exporting, people who are doing business that are doing international business, people who are going to China. Somebody was telling me that a Vitz, a car that we used to buy, which we used to make fun when the Vitz was released, we used to make fun that it was a bad innovation that everybody is laughing to the way to their bank. We used to go 500,000 Kenyan shillings, a Vitz. That a Vitz in the next 5 years, a vehicle that people can afford will go for 2.5 million shillings. Like 2.5 million shillings for you to get a Vitz. Look at another impact, Chito. Because of the impact of this overtaxation and the work that we are doing, what will happen is that we're going to see a lot of increase in lifestyle diseases. So, for example, anxiety is going to increase. So what will happen is a public health problem. We're going to have to spend money on what? On public health to deal with anxiety, which, because people are on alert all the time, it's bad for their nervous system. It will manifest in panic attacks and manifest in anxiety. Depression, lifestyle diseases in terms of, even in terms of high blood pressure and hypertension. Because as we speak right now, Chito, lifestyle diseases are accounting for 30% of the health budget that we have in this country. Because we are seeing a lot of these decisions that the government is making that are going there. And I'm not saying that the government is doing this because they inherently hate us. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that when leaders are in power, and these leaders are men, they must begin to understand that the way they carry this authority has an impact on people. And these people are ordinary people like Chito and myself. It is us who are going back to our families. It's us who are carrying the burden of our communities. And so when you talked about the impact of men being in authority, that if we just have 5 men who are legitimately concerned about the state of this country, they will whisper to the president and say, Mr. President, people are hurting. The recent poll has just released that 70% of Kenyans are struggling with their money. You don't need a prophet to tell you that Kenyans are struggling. But you know what's happening? We have men who'd rather pander to the president. We have men who'd rather tell the deputy president that you're the greatest ever. We have men who'd rather not tell the president the truth, or would rather not tell the CSS the truth, because they're insulating them from the ordinary people. And then one day, when the president is reaping the consequences of all these actions, then they say, by the way, why wasn't I told? As I finish this rant, because this is a rant I wanted to do.
Dude, you have not even interrupted.
This is a rant I wanted to do. I like the story of Parliament was telling me that the generals, the Roman empires, the generals had people under them, but there was always one slave. The work of this slave was to whisper to the ear of the emperor, "You are just a mere man," all the time. Because whenever they came back from war and they'd exploit and everybody was celebrating them, they need to be reminded that you are just a mere man. Because victory, celebration, power, authority, money can insulate you from the reality. And the problem is that then you think that you're a god until one day you realize you're not God.